Hi, everybody. I'm John Braun, host of the Pickle Box, and I'm here with my co-host.
Sarah Bowman.
And we wanted to do a little introduction to let you know what we've got coming up. We're about to drop season 1. We're super excited. We've had some amazing guests on so far. We've been able to travel a little already,
Yep.
which has been very, very cool. And we're just super excited to have everybody along for the ride and to really join, really help with the pickleball community locally, and then look at everything from a national level. So we'll have guests on from local, national, and just kind of get everyone's backstories. We're kind of doing investigative journalism for pickleball, which has been really unique and
It
a very
definitely
cool
is.
experience.
Yep. A lot of issues have come up beyond the court, and we've gotten to know our guests really well beyond their accomplishments in pickleball. So
Yeah,
it's been a
absolutely.
lot of fun.
It's been super unique. So, all right, so we're going to go over a few questions and interview each other, which this is completely new.
Yep.
We've never done this. This is very awkward compared to what we're used to. So, where did you grow up and go to school?
I grew up in Rochester, New York, and went to high school in Rochester. And then for college, I went to Princeton University in New Jersey. And law school, I went to American University in Washington, D.C.
Awesome.
And where did you grow up and go to school?
So, I was born in Frederick, Maryland, and then I grew up in Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. I went to high school at James Buchanan High, and then I finished my undergraduate degree from Hood College, and I am currently finishing up my MBA from Mount St. Mary's University in Emmitsburg, Maryland.
Excellent. And how did you get into pickleball?
I got into pickleball after 3 or 4 years of my mother begging me to play. And I repeatedly told her that I do not play an old person sport. So she had a huge background in racquetball and had transitioned over to pickleball and told me how much fun it was. And then in 2019, I finally took her up on the offer, went out on the court, hit my first ball, and I was hooked ever since. Then this is my first racket sport. So that's been a really unique experience. And how about you?
I started pickleball in April 2022. I was a travel ice hockey mom, and that was an all day, everyday commitment. And then my daughter decided not to play anymore. She has since returned, so it ended up being just a break. But I had all of this time to myself, which was a new experience. And I saw an ad in the local rec department magazine for pickleball, and I figured I had a tennis background, I might enjoy pickleball, so it was something fun to do for 2 months on Monday nights. Little did I know I'd become obsessed.
Uh-huh.
So that's how I got into
Obsessed on the court, off court training, and doing a podcast now.
it. Love it. Love
Pickleball
it.
is life.
It is life.
All right, so what other sports have you been involved with other than pickleball?
Only one,
Okay.
tennis. So I started playing tournaments when I was 9 years old, 6 days a week, 12 months a year was my training schedule from age 9, and then ended up being a nationally ranked junior tennis player, and then went and played D1 varsity for 4 years for Princeton. So only tennis. I never played any other sports. And tennis definitely helped me learn pickleball quickly.
Just a little bit.
How about you? What other sports?
So I grew up playing t-ball, just like most guys do, especially when you live out in the middle of nowhere. And then in middle school, I started playing soccer. I played soccer I played a little bit of travel soccer in high school, my freshman year. And then I took a complete break from all sports and focused on art, knowing that I was going to go to college for art and design down the road, or that was the aspiration. So I took a complete break from that. Other than like I would work out and run. After high school, I got into weightlifting. I was huge into weightlifting for at least a year and a half. And then I got into very competitive cycling, cyclocross, road racing, mountain biking. And that was a lot of fun. Got into distance running, started running half marathons, especially during COVID. And I kind of just, I play a lot of different sports. I always have loved longboarding. I grew up skateboarding. I was never great at skateboarding, but I enjoyed it. and then found longboarding, and I like to go fast. So longboarding,
Adrenaline.
the adrenaline rush, bombing hills, going like, I think the fastest we went was like 49 miles an hour on a longboard. So that's pretty fun. Um, and yeah, and then the most recent one, other than picking pickleball up in 2019, is taking up snowboarding this year, or last winter. So that was my first season out on the slopes, and had a great time doing that. So just have to have a decent balance now between not getting hurt and being able to be on the court. And then obviously, as you know, off-court training has become huge for both of us. So I really enjoy getting out and running with a weighted vest on and doing weighted jump ropes and speed ropes, and really trying to do like a nice cross training regimen just to be in really good shape for pickleball. So it's been neat because all my sports backgrounds have kind of converged into one now. I've always been in really good shape for whatever specific sport I was doing. If it was weightlifting, I was up to like 180 pounds. If I was cycling, I had like great leg strength, no core strength. Running, I would drop a ton of weight. So it's really been nice to be able to merge all my backgrounds together and literally be in the best shape of my life now to be able to go out and hit a pickleball.
That's great. What is your proudest pickleball accomplishment?
My proudest pickleball accomplishment, I have two. So the first one is that in probably 2020, my mother and I got to play a tournament together, which was really cool. So that's been a really unique experience to be able to play a sport with my mother, as opposed to the other sports that I was playing, or participating in where that wouldn't happen. And then the most recent one was you and I taking bronze at the Maryland Open in the 4-5 to 5-0 bracket. So that was really cool because number one, I had taken you on as a student, and then we started playing mixed together. So it was really fun to be able to go compete in our first tournament and bring home a medal.
That's definitely my proudest accomplishment in pickleball also, especially because 1 year ago I took bronze in 3.5. So to take bronze in 4-5 to 5-0 was a pretty big accomplishment. And it was the culmination of the summer with all our training that we had been doing.
Yeah, I don't think people understand like how quickly your pickleball career has progressed, which has been really cool to see. So props to you. You've been crushing it. So do you have any pets?
I do. I have a little Chihuahua that I rescued 2 years ago, and I have 2 cats and a horse. However, the cats and the horse are technically my daughters, but I help take care of them since they're in my house. So I love animals.
Nice.
How about you?
I have 2 cats. I have Tussin and Pargy. So Rowan, which I ended up nicknaming Robitussin at one point, and then it got shortened to Tussin, and then Margot, which now is Pargy, and rescued both of those from the Washington County SPCA. And I love those cats to death.
Rescues are the best.
They are, yeah.
My little rescue's named Polly, and from the first day, she seemed to understand that she was safe and in a good new home. So that's the best.
That's awesome.
How would you describe your pickleball playing style?
Ooh, that's a good question. So it's starting to transition now. So it was, I'm still very aggressive on the court. I'm trying to play smarter now. So I'm trying to have a nice hybrid game, and it depends who you're playing with too. So it's all partner dependent. If you and I are playing together, like I definitely am trying to poach more balls, just because your drive's so hard, it's going to create, most of the time it's going to create a pop-up that I can put away. But I'm also really trying to work on my short game and my, the dinks and the drops, and be able to play more of like a chess match on the court. So, knowing when to pull out different game styles. And I always tell my students that they need to have all the quivers, or they need to have all their arrows in their quiver to make sure that they have the right shots and the right stance when they need it, and to play to their advantage and not the opponent's advantage. So that's been a unique experience in itself this year, is really, really trying to pick apart my game. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. How about you?
My style, I would describe, well, very recently I was a banger. not gonna lie. But then you
Correct.
helped me develop more of a complete game, like you said, having all of the tools in your toolbox. So now I do have a short game, but I still have that power. I would say my power game is kind of my signature style,
You think?
but I am
Teeing
developing.
off on the ball.
I am developing more of a well-rounded game.
Yeah. No, your game's come a long way, but your two-handed backhand's got to be like the craziest two-handed backhand that most people have ever seen. So
I
it's enviable.
have fun hitting that shot.
Yes, you do. All right. So what are you working on in your game, and do you have any certain goals that you're trying to achieve?
My biggest area that I'm working on is to develop a short game that is the same level as my drives.
Okay.
So my drives came over directly from tennis, and I'm refining them obviously, but I have my drives, and my main goal in terms of skill is to elevate the level of my short game to the level of my drives. And then my main goal as a pickleball player is I'm really hoping to work hard and try out for the Senior Pro League, the NPL.
Awesome.
So that's my ultimate goal. How about you?
I just want to take it as far as I can take it. So this year I took a year off, and whenever I started playing, it was definitely interspersed. Like I would only get to play maybe once a week for 2 hours. So this year coming back after over a year break, just really been working on elevating my entire game just to see how far I can take the entire sport. And then obviously with the pickle box. That's kind of not part of my game, but it's part of my goals now, and it's related to pickleball.
For sure.
For like the overall podcast. And then I'm also teaching, which has been super rewarding. And so that's another goal, was to just be able to, bring on more, not just bring on more students, but just be able to spread that love of the game,
And start them on their journey and take them through to their potential.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been really enjoyable to teach, because I had to, whenever I started, like it was really hard to, not having a racket background, it was difficult. And then not difficult to pick up, but difficult to progress. And then to try to get plugged into the right groups, and I had to go through a lot of trial and error. So now that I'm teaching, like I get to really shorten that time span for students, which is awesome. And then try to get them plugged in with the right groups and really understand what their goals are as a player, and then be able to work with them, not just on their game, but try to get them plugged in, like I said, to the correct groups for their goals. So.
And then they can actually enjoy the sport and all the skills that you've been teaching them.
And quickly too. Quickly. So I'm trying to really compress that time of the pickleball career that I spent so much time on.
That makes sense. What is your favorite time of day?
I like mornings in the summer and spring. I'm definitely a morning person, but also I'm a night owl. I don't like to sleep. It just depends. If I'm on the slopes, it's at night. That's like the best time to go snowboarding. But probably morning. How about you?
The opposite. I'm definitely a night owl. I love the peace. I love thinking about the day, planning the next day. And one of my personal goals is I want to become a morning person, and I'm struggling with that, but I'll get there. So I would definitely say my favorite time is night.
Yeah, the early morning pickleball sessions have to be helping with that transition a little bit whenever we have them in the summer.
Oh yes, if I have pickleball in the morning, I can wake up really easily.
Yeah.
And then instant morning person.
Right. So what paddle do you play with? And this is kind of a loaded question, because we both,
Yep, we're both brand ambassadors for Carbon.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to you, because you got me hooked on them.
Yep, I just started with Carbon in April. A friend of ours from a little bit north of here was a Carbon brand ambassador and had been trying to convince me to try Carbon. I'd never even heard of the brand before. I tried it and I was instantly hooked. And I immediately bought a Carbon and then applied to be a brand ambassador and got that. and I was immediately so passionate about carbon that I had you try it.
Yep.
And then I remember your first couple days trying the carbon paddle. I said you were like a Doberman puppy
I
because
was.
you loved the carbon paddle so much.
Mm-hmm.
And so our friend from north of here was not wrong. We both fell in love with the carbon paddle, we both became brand ambassadors, and we both used the 3X 14 millimeter.
Yep, we're both on the 14 millimeter 3X, and both of us also are U-Drippin brand ambassadors.
The overgrip that
The
we
overgrip
use,
that we use.
which
So
is phenomenal.
both of us have like identical paddles now, and it's really hard to figure out whose is whose.
Exactly. Yeah, love the carbon and the U-Drippin overgrip.
Yeah, it's a great combination for sure.
So you touched on this a little bit, but what are you doing off court to improve your game?
So off court to improve my game, I'm working on, like I said, cross training. So weighted vest runs. I'm currently up to 35 pounds regularly. So I'll fluctuate. I'll get up to like 40 pounds, run with that for a while, go back down to 35. And do that, in between the different stages. So same with like when I was at 30, do 35 for a while, go back to 30. Everything that I do off court is obviously for on court. So I'm trying to have a 1-to-1 ratio where it translates over completely. So doing the weighted vest runs, weighted jump rope, speed rope, working with some agility balls here and there. With the weighted vest on, I also do what most would consider a prison workout. So incline push-ups on steps with the weighted vest on, decline push-ups, regular push-ups, tricep dips. So everything that I do is mobile. There's no gym required, which I'm big on. And it's all movements that, like I said, directly translate over to on the court. So again, coming from that background where I was lifting really heavy for a while, like it was enjoyable to see your strength go up, but I didn't feel like it really translated over to much other than being able to lift heavy things. My cardio suffered horribly. So now I can lift some, I decently, like more like farm strong, I like to call it, from, some of the work that I enjoy to do on weekends. And yeah, it's been a really enjoyable progression, and I've seen a lot of benefits on court.
My off court is largely inspired by you, and some of mine inspires you as well. So a lot of it's the same. So I run with the weighted vest. I have 2 weighted vest workouts I like. There's a big steep hill near my house, and I love running up and down it with my weighted vest, which is now 30 pounds. I started with 6 pounds and now it's 30 pounds. And then my other weighted vest workout is just going for like a 3-mile run. And that directly translates onto the court because a court is flat. And so running with an incline with a 30-pound vest and then transitioning to running on a flat court with no extra weight makes running up to short balls so much easier. And then the weighted jump rope. I've gotten really into that workout as well. And I'll take that to my daughter's ice hockey practice and watch practice while I have the weighted jump rope, or go in the parking lot and use the weighted jump rope. It's just so easy to throw in the car. And that one I started at 2.8 pounds and now I'm up to 5 pounds, 300 reps. And that just works like all these muscles, which really helps with the power of my drives and my serve. Especially being a smaller person, I'm able to have a lot of power from that workout with the weighted jump rope. And then also, you didn't mention this, but we're both really into supplements and vitamins.
That is true.
For different aspects of our muscles, both the ability to grow our strength as well as recover. And we're also off court. I know we both talk a lot about the mental side and a lot of inspirational mindset pieces that we read from other people, even non-athletes. So the mental side as well.
Yeah, even just like in the pickle box, the flag that says growth through adversity, the mental side has been huge, which is, for me personally, been a huge growth time over the past year of the mental side. So that's been super unique and a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now transitioning away from any kind of training, what's your favorite meal?
I'm obsessed with grilled salmon, particularly on salad. And then if I had to pick my absolute favorite, Greek salad with grilled salmon. I order it whenever it's available at a restaurant, and I love it. I never get tired of it. How about you? I don't think it's a salad, but what is it?
Mine is definitely not a salad. My favorite meal has to be slippery pot pie because I'm what you would call a redneck. And my mom, you make the best slippery pot pie in the entire world. And it is technically pot pie, but you pronounce it pot pie. And if anybody doesn't pronounce it that way, then they don't make it correctly. Um, so that's my favorite meal. I don't really only get that like maybe once or twice a year. But outside of that, I definitely try to take nutrition as seriously as possible and focus a lot on lean proteins, lean meats, and just making sure that I'm getting enough protein because what we're doing off court and on court can definitely take a toll on your body if you're not putting in the right nutrition and hydration. So.
Well, good news for you. Your mom told me today that she went and bought the ingredients for
I
her
know.
slippery pot pie. So
And good news for you, you get to try it for the first time in your life.
I
So,
cannot wait.
yeah.
Do you have a favorite place that you've played pickleball? And also, where are you hoping to play one day?
My favorite place to play pickleball is at the beach. So anytime we would get to go down to the Eastern Shore, that's like Eastern Shore or Delaware. That's always my favorite, just because you get to play pickleball and then go hang out on the beach, and I love the beach. I would really like to be able to play eventually like a tournament in every state. That's one of my goals. Just because the community is so cool and I love to travel, so try to marry both worlds. How about you?
My favorite place that I've played has to be the local parks. So first Marty Snook Park in Hagerstown and now Jerome King Park in Greencastle. And that's just because of the community aspect, the people that I look forward to playing with when I'm there. And I'm hoping to play in Florida one day because obviously we keep hearing about this amazing Florida pickleball community.
Right.
And I also love the beach. And I also have the goal of playing a tournament in every state. I think that sounds like an amazing experience.
Yeah, and no shade to the Jerome King Park. Now I feel bad. I love all of you guys, and that is definitely one of my favorite places to play as well. All right, so what do you like to do outside of playing pickleball?
Well, I have two daughters and a granddaughter, so I love spending time with family. I'm very into live music, and I love going to whether it's a local show or a big concert. Um, and the beach, you mentioned the beach. I love traveling to the beach. But if I'm at home, I would say live music and spending time with family. How about you?
Um, Sky's the limit. I just love learning new things. So I love working on cars. Love working on my friends' cars. I love doing art in my spare time. Going and getting tattooed has been a hobby of mine for quite some time. Live music, reading, researching different topics that pique my interest. Yeah, I really do love learning. So I think that's probably one of my biggest hobbies, which translates into a huge variety of hobbies and interests, just because I think that's one of life's great lessons is to learn.
Continuing to grow.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm not, I feel like if I'm not learning, I'm stagnating, and I don't like stagnation. I always tell people that disease festers in stagnant water. And so that's kind of a mentality that I've always taken into my everyday life, that, I don't want to be the stagnant pool of water. I like to be the water that's moving and continuously growing and learning. And it translates to everything. And I personally feel like shameless plug, makes me a more interesting person to talk to if you get me to talk. because I usually
Absolutely.
stay pretty quiet for the first few months of not knowing somebody. Um, but yeah, yeah, it's a very
Important.
long-winded answer for a very short question. But
Yeah, I like that. It's important.
which
Oh,
one? Which one do you want to be the last question? That's the
I'll go next.
okay.
What's your favorite season?
This is an easy one, hands
Yeah,
down, summer.
summer.
I like the fact that the sun's out constantly. It
Hmm.
is bright from like 6 a.m. or earlier till 9 p.m. or later. I don't have to sleep near as much. I'm not tired. It's not dark. It's not cold. Obviously, with snowboarding, the winter kind of has to happen to get out and snowboard. But I would much prefer to be on a beach playing pickleball and then going to surf. Not that I've ever surfed, but if I can pick snowboarding up, I think surfing maybe I could do. It'd at least be fun, but definitely summer.
I completely agree. Um, most of the activities I enjoy doing them in hot weather. It just puts me in such a good mood. I mean, this past summer, we would spend 3, 4, 5 hours, regardless of what the weatherman was saying. Like, stay home, it's a heat
We played
advisory.
through 2 months of a heat advisory.
I just love summer, and right
Yeah,
now I'm missing it.
I am missing it too. I miss laying on the court and having a salt stain of my body
Yeah,
that stayed on the court for multiple weeks. That's what I miss. Not the weather now.
not
So
the weather
yeah.
now.
So, how has pickleball changed your life? And I'm really happy that we're asking this question because it's a recurring theme that has popped up in a ton of our interviews that we've already completed. And I can only imagine that it's going to continue throughout.
Yeah, it's really highlighted the phenomenon that pickleball is in talking to all of our guests. It is a great question. So for me, um, I said I'm a mom, and so much of my focus is on my children, and pickleball has given back to me a reason to focus on something that is enjoyment just for myself.
Nice.
And with that comes goals that I set for myself and work hard towards. And so then I get that feeling of satisfaction that a lot of times as adults we don't have that opportunity. It's you always hear about kids or college age kids having goals and striving to meet them, working hard and meeting their goals. And as parents, a lot of times it's your children's goals. So now I am able to set goals based on my own passions. And then the people that I meet through pickleball have literally changed my life. So I feel like I'm the healthiest I've been probably in my entire adult life, physically
That's
and
awesome.
mentally, from pickleball. How about you?
It's just has an amazing drive. It gives me an amazing drive to continue on in like the sports arena. So I would say I don't have many regrets in life. One of the biggest ones though is not pursuing sports at a younger age. Um, I wish that I would have kind of held that balance between chasing both dreams because I gave the sports up to just solely focus on art and trying to get into college for that, which worked out very well, and I luckily was able to become very accomplished within undergrad. But to do that, I definitely sacrificed a lot of what hindsight is, what I could have done. So it's given me an opportunity now to be in a competitive arena again and more in a team environment, which has definitely been different because I was so used to the solo sports, which I still enjoy. And, those are more of a mind game with yourself, which is really fun. And maybe not fun, but very challenging. So in that aspect, it's put me back into a highly competitive arena for sports, and then it's also helped with my mental well-being, like the mental side of it, and bringing in that off-court training. And this is the best shape that I've ever been in my life, which is really neat. I never thought that pickleball, a game called pickleball, would give me that. So it's been very unique to be throwing on weighted vests and going for these crazy runs or hikes or doing 500 jump ropes with a 5-pound weighted vest because of wanting to hit a plastic wiffle ball better. So that's been amazing. That has definitely, it's completely altered the trajectory of my life. And then, like you said, that social aspect is really neat. Again, coming from that solo sport background, I'm not really used to the team sport environment as much. And I tend to be an introvert who is extroverted around the right people. So it's really created a village of people that I look up to and I admire, and I see their drive and their passion. And we've been lucky enough to interview a few of them. We are extremely lucky to be able to go out and drill with some of them, go play with them, and at the end of the day, after going and doing that, like, I just feel mentally refreshed, physically tired, but mentally refreshed, because I love watching my village get after it, and I want them to achieve their goals. They want me to achieve my goals. You know, that same village wants you to achieve your goals. And so it's been a really unique experience to be able to be a part of that. And also, it's really cool to see a sport explode the way it has. I feel very lucky to be able to see that, because I don't feel like many people get to, see a sport like this explode the way it is. I mean, we really are getting to watch like a snippet of history, and I hope that people do understand how lucky they are. Like with baseball, as a kid, like, you're just expected to play baseball. It's always been around, soccer, basketball, all these sports, they have this wonderful heritage behind them, but it's been amazing to be part of a sport that is,
as it's exploding.
Exactly.
As it's growing.
The trajectory just continues to, just nothing but positive numbers, even just from the analytics side, it's just nothing but positive numbers and growth year after year. So.
And it's so neat how, with it being the fastest growing sport, pickleball literally is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I travel for my daughter's ice hockey from state to state, I love finding local communities of pickleball players and plugging in there just for a few hours while I'm in town for the weekend for hockey, find some pickleball and play a couple games, meet people. And then in our local community, our fellow pickleball players have become genuine friends. Like,
Absolutely.
We have that shared respect, the shared passion and drive, and then genuine friendships evolve from it, and that's really special.
Yeah, and it's been really unique getting to partner with you for not just tournaments, but playing and then doing the podcast together, because we started to travel to go do some of these interviews.
Yeah.
And we've been able, like, you've showcased a completely different side of pickleball that I never really even knew existed. We just show up and you're like, okay, we're in New Jersey, we're going to go play with this group.
Right.
We're in this state, we're going to go play with that group. And that's been super amazing, and getting to meet all of these different people. And kind of being pickleball nomads. It's been really fun.
More to come.
And definitely more to come. A lot more travel.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So it's definitely a sport that changes everyone's life. That, anybody that we've interviewed, anyone we talk to on the court, off the court, it's definitely shifted people's perspective on life, saved some people's lives, brought back passions they didn't know existed or they thought were long gone. So it's from the outside looking in. I always try to place myself from the outside looking in, and it's just a really unique phenomenon. And I'm very, very excited that we get to be a part of it and get to see it from the early stages.
Yep.
Or early, since it's blowing up. Obviously, been around since the '60s, but now that it's really blowing up, it's really unique.
Yeah, and like you said, we're acting like investigative journalists.
Yes.
So through
Yes.
pickleball, we're really discovering like so many different types of people who have that in common, but we're learning some really interesting stories. So
Some
it's
very
a special
interesting
opportunity that sprung from pickleball.
Yeah. And with that being said, we want to thank you all for the support. We've had a huge amount of support already without even dropping one podcast episode. We thank you all so much. Every like, follow, all the dumb stuff that you hear everybody say on YouTube, it really does help, and it does mean a lot to us, because
all the shares.
The shares, seeing how excited people are. there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people aren't going to see, and there's been a lot of effort that has already gone into this. And we're really excited to start dropping episodes, and we hope that you all will stay along for the ride and get to see where this thing goes.
And let us know what you think and what else you'd like to see. We have 7 interviews under our belt right now.
Yep.
And some of them are pretty lengthy, so we'll be presenting them in multiple parts.
Yep.
So we're excited to travel to other places and meet new people. And we have several links to share for various social media.
Yep. All those will be linked down below. That feels horrible.
I know.
That's so gross. I hate that. Check out the links down below. And if you could subscribe to the channel and shoot us a like, we'd greatly appreciate it. But yeah, no, we have Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. We also post to our private Facebooks. We have a website coming soon. We currently have a Shopify storefront. So if you would like to support us more than just a comment, like, or share, which again means the world to us, we do have that link down below, and all that money gets invested right back into everything that's going on here at the Pickle Box. Helps with travel, lightens the load on the gas money.
Yeah.
And maybe one day we'll get into a hotel room and we won't be sleeping out of a car. But until then, we will continue to sleep out of a car and do the investigative journalism thing for Pickleball, and enjoy the ride.
Yeah. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. And like I said,
thank you for inviting me to join you in this, because I'm super excited.
Yeah, thanks for, well, and thank you, Denise Angle, aka Mom, for coming up with the name of the Pickle Box, and for giving us a space to do this in. And we're just really excited for what the future holds. So thank you for being my co-host and coming along for the ride.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you all soon. Stay tuned for episodes. Let us know what you think. Shoot us DMs, good, bad, ugly. And we can't wait to see you guys, and hopefully we see you all on the court.